And hello and good morning. I'm David Boles, and this is Boles.tv, BOLES.tv, coming to you live, semi-live, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, we have a really big shoe today, as they used to say on the Ed Sullivan Show. Lots of things to talk about. We'll probably only get to about half of it, but that's okay. As you can see, you may be able to see, I was testing on one of my mod accounts the censoring, because our bots are very strict. They will not allow certain words, they block links, and I was just curious, because in the past we've had some people participating. We've talked about topics, and they try to type in BOOBS, not necessarily talking about the woman's anatomy, but just a big dumb person, and they get moderated for typing in boobs, and then everything they've said in the chat so far gets auto-deleted, which is very severe. I didn't set it up. That's the way that the bots work. And then there's also the B word, and sometimes you're quoting someone or there's a link that has that word in it, BITCH. Also, same thing. Stop cursing. You're wiped out. You're put on timeout for a minute. So in one of my mod accounts, the Boles brand account, you may be able to see it in chat, I typed in the boobs, went through. So mods, unlike VIPs, are not moderated by these bots. The BITCH word typed in, there. And then I thought, well, somebody might be, checking in later or looking at this, looking at the chat, because the chat is always available, even if we're not online. You can just go to twitch.tv/Boles TV and look at the chat. So I put in parentheses, these are bot tests. And Gordon is our good friend now in Florida. I don't know why I quantify it with Florida. Gordon is our good friend, period. Pause, who is now a moderator here. Pause. Gordon, you are now free to curse me out. Talk about my boobs. Call me the B word, F word, A word, AH word, whatever you want to do. You're now free. It's dangerous. You got to trust your mods. And we learned yesterday that as a mod, Gordon can post links, which is really super fantastic because links get blocked too by default. But that's the world in which we live, where things you can't trust people to behave. You have to distrust people. Oh, there's Gordon. I would never want to about not seeing your boobs. Beautiful. I love the test. And we're within our terms of service with Twitch, so we're not going to get in trouble. But boy, you wouldn't believe these live streamers who just, every other word is the F word and the FU word and the mother-father word that's not mother-father, but the other word. That I don't understand. I guess that's what the kids are doing these days, cursing each other out. I don't even like the P word. They say I gotta go. Oh, there's Gordon. And to make use of a silly pun, thank you for keeping us abreast. You're very welcome. Well, I gotta go take a PISS. Ugh, come on. Or I'm peed off. It's very common. You hear it all the time. I just think it's trashy and unnecessary. And I'm called old. And out of touch, which I probably am. Put myself in a corner. So that's very interesting, that mods are not restricted by the bots. And as I was saying, you have people who just come in and want to create havoc. And in the early days of the show, someone went into our Discord stream and posted images of people in history, black people being hanged, and pictures of the KKK. And there were about 20 of them. And then this person said, did I do a good job? And because I was new, I was setting things up. I wasn't getting notified that this stuff was on our Discord server. So I went in there and saw it and said, oh no. It's up for a day and someone's in there trashing your house. So I deleted all that and banned the person. Gordon says, I have always made use of the word urinate when referring to it in front of the kids. Good for you. Of course, that leads to the pun, You're an 8 or you're a 10. Love it. Very cute. And I like that you're using the proper words with children. You don't have to say PP. You can say you're an 8. You can say penis. You can say vagina. Those are the words. You don't have to come up with baby words. And I've seen your children up probably all of 10 seconds. Online, live. And it's very obvious that they're free thinkers. They're very intelligent. They're bright. They're not talked down to. They are considered people who happen to be young. They're not treated like the traditional kid. You might baby them, but not intellectually. You baby them as they deserve to be babied, which means taken care of and loved up, which we all should be babied, and many of us are not. So you hope that you can, trust people you don't know, but more often than not, you learn very quickly online in a live stream, you really can't trust people you don't know because you don't know who they are. Which is why in our chat we verify phone, we verify email, and we don't have a lot of chatters because chatters don't want you to know who they are. They don't want to be identified. Or if they're a bot, they very easily can identify and verify an email address, but not a phone number. The phone number is what stops the bots. Gordon says, they say now that you have to be wary of anyone that makes use of cutesy words for genitalia. That's a possible child predator. A child predator will say, oh, sweetie, I just want to see your cookie. Gross. Ugh. Gross. And it's, how do you prepare a young child, as a parent, to look out for these people? I mean, you can't say don't trust any stranger because sometimes a stranger is a police officer or a firefighter. And many of these molestations, we know, come from people that kids know. Unfortunately, usually part of an extended family. So that's hard. That's a rough place to navigate with your kids. Which is why you need to have an open relationship with them and say, look, anything that happens, just tell me. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to be mad at you. If you're in trouble, just come and tell me, and we'll take care of it. Gordon says you have to say to children, if someone uses these cute terms, you need to tell us immediately. Good. And they need to be able to tell you anything. Even as they're older and they're in trouble and they've done terrible things, they have to be able to sit down and say, look, this happened. And that's your duty as a parent, to get them out of it. Not to cover it up, but to help them deal with it. Because it's the secrets that really cause trouble. So you don't know what to do with these people who come into your live stream. In our chat, before we turned on phone verification, there was people who'd come in and say the P word, and I'm going to do terrible things to 6-year-olds. And it's like, why? We're not talking about that. We're talking about NFT art. I guess that's a hate raid. I don't know. So you lock everything down and you hope you'll throw away the key and then never show up again. And so far, they've not shown up. And some streamers are very reluctant to ban people. I am not reluctant to ban people. If you show up and say one nasty thing, I have nothing to ever say to you because I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. So why come into my house and make trouble? I don't need it. I don't want it. So also speaking of Gordon, we had our delicious pasta yesterday, our cascatelli from Trader Joe's, with a wonderful homemade marinara sauce. Big hit. Jana loved it. And it was just what Gordon said. It's constructed in such a way that all of the sauce, which we love, the gravy, the soup, clings to the pasta. So you never get a naked piece of pasta. It's all covered in delicious sauce. And we're having part 2 today. Super delicious. So I thank you for that, Gordon. And Mr. Gordon says, I'm so happy to hear you both enjoyed it. Yes, and you also sent us something interesting in email that we'll talk about a little bit later. We have a big rant coming up after the break at 9:30 about NFT art and known origin and Life magazine. And it's been a week of turmoil. And then as I'm planning to campaign and blow things up, in the span of about 15 minutes this morning, everything turned around and worked out just great. But I'm not going to not do it because there are lots of warnings and things you need to be aware of that I'm going to talk about. Gordon says the company Banza makes a version of the shape that is made of chickpea flour. I'm on a waiting list to hear back when they'll be in stock again. Well, that's very interesting as well. I like chickpea flour. That sounds much, much healthier than a regular flour or a wheat pasta. Very delicious. We also have athletic greens that are being delivered very soon. I'll have a little review. We were big on athletic greens about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's super expensive. But you do get very healthy, you're very strong on it, and it really curbs any hunger pangs you have. It's amazing, amazing stuff. And then we stopped because for two people it was like $150 a month. And now we're thinking, well, we're a little bit older, more medication, not getting out as much, the pandemic, maybe we'll try it again for a month or two. And now they've rebranded themselves as AG1, but it's still athletic greens. And our Russian friend, who does not like to be called Russian, but he is Russian, he's going to give up his Russian nationality as soon as his immigration lawyer approves it. He said, not now. We're in the middle of a war. If you renounce your Russian citizenship, you'll be thrown out of the United States because you're on a visa. Right now, you have to remain Russian. Just trust me. He loves athletic greens. And Alexei Guzman is one of those guys who's very smart, a scientist, brilliant, never went to really formal education, just knows it all because he studies and he's very smart. Hates everything. Loves athletic greens. I'm thinking, well, there you go. He's into it. I should be back into it. So we'll see how that happens. Now, here's a story from yesterday. I went downstairs to the concierge desk. Big buildings have them. I always prefer a doorman. And when Gordon was living in New York City in Queens, I said, do you have a doorman building? Because we're thinking about moving to Queens. And he said, I don't think there are a lot of buildings in Queens that have doormen. And I understand why, because in New York City, their doormen are unionized. And they're ready to strike tomorrow in the big buildings. But it looks like it's being avoided because they're getting a 14.2% raise over the next 3 years, which is the biggest raise ever. And the doormen are really the heart, soul, and security of a building. Now, it doesn't mean they're opening a door for you and coming in, although the big buildings have that. But in our building, a doorman is a concierge. Oh, Gordon has a joke. An old joke, Gordon says, that probably would not go over well now. When I would be on an elevator and someone would apologize to me for holding the door open for them, I would say, it's okay, I'm Romanian, not Russian. A good pun for Russian. Now that's funny. I would laugh at that. Very good. And that's a good New York joke because people would get it. Would that joke work in Florida? Probably. Would it work in the Midwest? Nebraska? They wouldn't get the joke. Some people would, but most people would like, what? And then you have to explain it. And when you're explaining a joke, you're in trouble. It's better just to say, never mind. I'm getting off of this floor and run away. So our front desk, the concierges, accept all deliveries and then they scan it in. And when you have good people, it gets scanned and you're notified and you go down in 30 minutes. And if you have other people at the front desk, sometimes they let it sit there for 6 hours until the next shift comes in, and then they scan it and you get it at 11 o'clock at night. So yesterday was a good day. It was actually the delivery from Walmart of our Beyond Meat teriyaki jerky. So that arrived very fast, a couple of days. I was thrilled. And so while I was downstairs waiting in line to get my package, a very loud, stereotypical, obnoxious, not an insult, just a characteristic. Delivery person came in the building, singing, yelling. And he says, I have this delivery and I already talked to him. I'm going to put it here on the table. And some delivery people do that, and other people, you bring them upstairs. Gordon also says the oddest thing that ever happened in a New York elevator, saw a woman with 2 adorable dogs. I told her I loved her dogs, and she said thanks, and literally handed me 2 baseball-style cards with their photos on them and statistics. I said, thanks. Kids love them. Oh, I think that's terrific. I would do that. I think that's delightful. That means she gets a lot of compliments on her dogs. And there was one time, oh my goodness, I think it was maybe a few months ago in our lobby, which is where you go and you pick up your mail. And there was a woman there, and she was very beautifully dressed, high fashion, Asian woman, dark hair, dark eyes, and she had the most beautiful cat in her arms. And she was obviously taking the cat out for a little walk in the lobby. Okay. We have a big lobby, so it's not like it was small. She was in a corner. And the cat was blisteringly white. And compared with the woman's dark hair and dark eyes, beautiful together. They looked like a picture. I wish I took a picture. And the cat was the most beautiful cat I'd ever seen in my life. And I looked at that cat and I said, that's purebred. That's a $5,000 cat. And if I'd known this was a thing, I would have said, do you have a baseball card of your cat? Because I would really like to have more information. And I've never seen her again. I've never seen that cat again. And I was very ashamed of myself that I was too shy to go up and say hello to the cat. I admired from afar, and she knew I was looking. I should have gone up, introduced myself to the cat, received the cat's name to find out where I could get a cat like that. It looked like a Scottish fold, but I'm not sure. The ears were that way, but it was very tiny. Scottish folds tend to be bigger and lumpier. This was a very tiny cat, and it was not a baby. It was a mature cat. So I go down to the front desk, and this guy comes in, very obnoxious, yelling that he's just going to leave the food here. He talked to the person. I like the delivery people, if they're going to come in, bring it up to the apartment, leave it in front, and go. I don't want to have to go downstairs on the elevator to pick up my delivered food. But some people try to do that. They just leave it at the front desk, and you have to go down and pick it up. And this guy said he had permission. The front desk people said, okay, that's fine. And then as the guy is leaving, we had a very New York moment in Jersey City where the guy said, you. I said, me? He said, yeah, you. You look like that guy. I said, oh, okay. And the front desk people are looking at me like, do you know him? I said, I don't know him. He said, yeah, that guy, what's his name? That actor. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, I get that. Sort of regularly, once in a while. And we have a list that I'll share with you. No, your face, that guy. And I said, okay, well, thanks. And then he was leaving, and they turned around and came back. And he said, Cumberbatch. And I'm thinking, Benedict Cumberbatch, I don't look anything like him. I said, oh, okay, well, thanks. He said, no problem. That's who you look like. And I'm thinking, so I make a joke to the front desk. Well, Benedict Cumberbatch, I think my day rate is going to double now. And they didn't understand what I was talking about. It's an actor thing. And then one of the other concierges who was there said, who's Cumberbatch? And I said, Doctor Strange? And she said, oh, yeah. And then she looked at me and she said, no. I said, I know. I'm not Benedict Cumberbatch. This is Benedict Cumberbatch. Is there a look-alike? Is it me? I tend to say I don't think so. I'm honored because this is a very, very good actor. I love everything he's done. He's very interesting. He gets into the roles. So some guy on the street, an obnoxious New Yorker living in Jersey City, thinks I look like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'll take it. And I'll go to his birthday party for $500 an hour instead of $5,000 an hour. But when I first moved to New York City, from Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. is a lovely town. If you ever have the opportunity to live there, go live in Washington, D.C. You think it's a horrible political place, but it's not. It's a small town. And all the important people, the big muckety-mucks who are politicians, are never there. And when they're there, like Chuck Schumer, they're sharing a tiny apartment with 5 other senators who are there for a little bit of time. The people who live there are really wonderful. And they're the people who do all the hard work for these senators. So they're like the two of us. They're like you and me. They're regular, hardworking people. And they're very authentic. So we moved from Washington, D.C. to New York City. We were subletting in a Columbia apartment. And the landlady there, the super, I guess, was a female. And at that time, I think she was the only female super in the Columbia University housing system. So she was very well thought of, had a lot of power based on her minority status. And she loved the Yankees, always wearing a Yankee hat. And by default, she loved me, which was confusing. And she loved me because she said, I am Matt Noakes's twin. And I said, who is Matt Noakes? And she looked at me like I said, I'm an out-of-towner. I just got here. And she said, oh, well, he plays for the New York Yankees. And you look exactly like him. And I think he's beautiful. So every time I saw her, I believe her name was Myrna. It was an old-fashioned name. Every time I saw her, I tried to turn away and run quickly because she would always come up to me and just look at me like, Matt Noakes. And then there was this guy, when I was teaching at Rutgers, who said, you look exactly like this Australian footballer. And I don't remember the name, but I said, you're his twin. You must be related to him. I said, I don't think so, but okay. So this is Matt Noakes. I don't see this either. I don't think we look anything alike, but I guess I'll take the compliment for someone who says that they adore him and adore me by default. Naming that face when I was younger, people would say, oh gosh, you look like Tom Cruise in high school. That I took as a compliment. This is really before we knew that he was a little dedicated to life as a Scientologist. Gordon says, have you ever used a celebrity photo analyzer to see what machine learning says you look like? I have never done it, Gordon. But I have a feeling you're going to send me a link sometime. Now, I think I could pass as Tom Cruise double in a movie. You know, I'm the one who gets beat up and does all of his action sequences. But in my opinion, the one that I may be closest to is this guy. Michael Shannon. Oh, there's Gordon. Creative career now, celebrity. I will do that. Now, Michael Shannon has been in a lot of pictures, a lot of movies. And I'm not saying I look exactly like him. But my father, who I don't know at all, I have seen photographs of him at the wedding, when he married my mother, when my mother married him, when they were married, and a couple of photographs of their early life together before he split. And this guy is the screaming twin of my father. And I think he was born in the 40s, and this guy, Michael Shannon, was born in 1977. And when he speaks, his mouth looks like I remember my father's speech and mouth would move. And every time I see him in a movie, I say, though, that's my father. And it's not my father, but my gosh, it terrifies me enough that that's my father. And he's been in all kinds of movies. He's very versatile. Michael Shannon is his name, and it just freaks me out every time I see him. And here he is as General Zod. I don't think this is the original Batman movie. Maybe it is. But he played General Zod. He was in The Shape of Water as the bad guy. So there you go. Now I will click on this that Gordon sent me. And we'll see, who do you look like? Oh, now I'm getting scared. Upload your picture to discover the celebrity you resemble the most. We use machine learning to calculate your likeness to a celebrity, so this might be the most accurate celebrity lookalike app ever. Find out now. Oh boy. Now I'm getting terrified. So let me see if this will... Oh, find out now. Okay, so here's a picture. Oh, I could be Gordon. I could trick it. But let's see. This is not the right thing. Although I could use my crazy avatar here. Oh, I see you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my... I clicked on that find out now, and it's asking me to upload a file. So I'm looking for my profile picture, if I can remember where I put it. I think it's in this file. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll try this one. I'm wearing the same shirt, which is terrifically convenient. And I clicked on the image, and nothing's happening. Oh, here it is. Hey! Did you play the role of doctors? Did you play the role of Doctor Strange? Oh my God! Gordon! I can't believe it. I think my day rate just tripled. I now have outside confirmation. That is not from my wife. My wife kind of said, I can kind of see that. Not from the front desk, not from the guy on the street, not even from Gordon. But from Creative Career Move Now. Gordon says there was no way we could have scripted this. Unless that guy delivering yesterday owns this website. And he knew we were going there today. I cannot believe it. Now I have to screenshot this because no one's going to believe this when I'm done with this show. No one is going to believe this. So I'm screenshotting this. And then I have to save it. Wow. Wow. And I like it that he's an actor that's working all the time so people know who he is. Benedict Boles. Dave Cumberbatch. Wow, your likeness to Benedict Cumberbatch is 31%. Not great, but still the uncanny valley. Now that is the uncanny valley. Your age predicted by AI. Now, isn't that interesting? 47. So it knocked 10 years off my age. I appreciate. And how old is Benedict Cumberbatch? I don't know. Now we have to look. Let's see if we can get his age real fast. Age. Born in 76. A year younger than my father, Michael Shannon. He's 45. So he's 45, I'm 47. According to this. Wow. Share. How does it work? Machine learning. Oh, here we go. Here's what's going on behind the scenes. A machine learning model has been trained to detect faces of 100 celebrities, 50 male, 50 female. When you upload your picture, it gets forwarded to the model, which, after analyzing whether you are male or female, spits out. It doesn't give, it spits a prediction about your likeness. Why did you build this? We, Creative Career Now, are on a mission to convince people to build a career in the creative industry. Thank you very much. The reason we've developed this app is to get the word out about our core website. If you're interested, go here. What happens to the picture I uploaded after transforming our image? We delete it. The collage is stored on the Google Cloud and has served as a preview image if someone decides to share it on social media. Wow. Unbelievable. So let's see, I should share this. I should share it as many places as I can because no one's going to believe it. I like 31% like Cumberbatch. What about yourself? Love it. Tweet. Okay. LinkedIn. Okay. I will do. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Sharing a post. Yeah. It's a match. My day rate just tripled. .tv. Post successful. View my post. Talk about content. Oh boy, we can go all day with this. Facebook. Very slow. It's very slow. I wish it would give you some indication of what's happening and why. Oh, I love it. Creative career now. Say something about this. Oh, I don't see my face, though. What is happening? Why is there no picture? What is going on? I'm going to do it again. Come on now. Come on now. And it's going to my personal page. It's going to my personal page, not my... I'll try. I'll see what happens. Oops. DITC. Benedict? Wow. I can't see. What is it telling me? It's a Benedict. Okay. Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch. More to come. I think I'm going to have to follow this up with an actual photo, and I will. But I wish this was going to my business page and not my private page, my personal page, because nobody follows me on my private page because it's a ghost account. I use it to manage my business page. Wow. Oh, it's so good. I have to screenshot this too. Unbelievable. I wish we had, Tony Awards for live streams because this one would win all the major awards. Thanks to Gordon, who's cursing at me creatively in chat. Doctor Strange. Wow, what a day. How can you beat that? Well, I accept the challenge. And I am going to beat that because I'm going to do a little bit of beating about NFT art. And all of that is coming up next, but first, a very brief blood pressure break. We shall return in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. I forgot to turn on my lights, so I put on the Be Right Back screen because I have to turn them on, and I kept in funky positions because where the plugs are and everything, it's all very crazy. No one wants to see that on a live stream. And we are here with you live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Well, we just finished the most amazing thing ever. It's going to make a great highlight. I'm going to make it when the show is finished, where I have now become Benedict Cumberbatch. I am now his twin, and he is mine. And he's terrific. The Tom Cruise thing always made me a little nutty, like, ew, I don't know. The Matt Noakes thing, because there was only one person in the world who thought I looked like Matt Noakes, and she was my super. But the Benedict Cumberbatch thing, that'll be fun. Everybody knows him. So they don't know his name, but they know Doctor Strange. And now I am David Strange. So now the next thing we're going to do, I've been wound up for about 3 hours to talk about this. Dead to rights, getting them dead to rights. And then it all got resolved about 20 minutes before the show, which is great, but it takes away all my urine and vinegar, as they say. But I'm still going to talk about it because it was outrageous. Oh, David Holmes, he played Sherlock Holmes too. He's played everybody. Wasn't he Smaug, Lord of the Rings? There's that big ridiculous video of him only doing the voice, but then physically acting it out as well. That's a little much. But hey, that's how he gets into it. And he's popular, and he makes a lot of money. Not that that matters, but he works a lot. So, it all actually worked out in the end, which is terrific. And they didn't know I was going to do a live stream. It's all if they give me special preferential treatment. They just fixed it. But I'm going to tell you the story because there are warnings in it that you should be aware of. If you are interested in NFT art. So now I have to go in here and do a little magic in front of you where I have to change from this screen, which I really, really love, into a secondary screen, which is this screen. I said, which is this screen. Thank you very much. Whew. I'm shocked that any of this actually works. How do live streams work? I don't know. There's audio, there's music, there's frames per second, there's loss of frames per second, there's upload speed, there's download speed, there's CPU usage, lights, camera, browser. I can't believe any of it works. But here we are. So you may have seen this many times before here on the stream. This is my OpenSea account. And this is an incognito Chrome browser. So this is, I want you to see what, if you're not me, sees. So this is my page. Ian Jones is the background here, which is just lovely. This is my Pixopop. R2D2 from Subbat is my Boles.f avatar. Boles TV is my username on OpenSea. Now, OpenSea is a NFT exchange. It's probably the best known one. Coinbase, they do a lot of crypto selling, are coming out with their own NFT shop, I guess you call it. But most people know OpenSea. And there is another place where you can go online and buy NFTs called Known Origin. And that's the topic of today's conversation. Known Origin has their whole separate website, and they tend to focus on the secondary market by verifying the secondary market stuff that they sell. They also have first-line items, which means they are unique only to Known Origin. And one of the unique items that Known Origin sells is Life magazine NFTs. And Life magazine, if you don't know, is a very old magazine that I believe is no longer being printed. There was an imitator called Look magazine, but Life is really the top dog. And they were known for a big format, big full-page images. It was a photographer's dream, and if you enjoyed looking at photographs in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you could watch Life magazine, hold it in the palm of your hand. And then print goes out of style, and Life magazine sort of disappears, and now it's kind of making a second-generation comeback in a series of exclusive NFTs that are for sale on Known Origin. Now, what's interesting about Known Origin is they also sell on OpenSea. And what they tend to do is take artists and secondary artists who are not verified, don't have a blue check mark, and those artists have a hard time selling sometimes because they're not verified, and people get scared away from buying them, because when you click to buy something that's not verified, you will get a remark from OpenSea saying, are you sure you want to buy this NFT? Because the seller is not verified. It could be fraudulent and fake, and if it turns out that they're reselling something they don't own, you're going to pay all this money for it, and then you're not going to have it anymore because we're going to remove it from your account. But if you want to buy, go ahead. So you have to be very careful, and that scares a lot of people off from buying from these new artists, and the new artists are very upset by it. Now you do some research, you get to know them a little bit, you know that they're creating original artwork, they're not stealing other people's artwork, and then you buy and everything's fine. You just have to click a button, say, I understand my rights, sell it to me, and they do. So what Known Origin does, at least on OpenSea, is they kind of have an umbrella, an arm, where they put around you and say, hey, we know who you are, you're a new artist, you can sell under the Known Origin brand, and use our blue check mark. And that won't scare people off. So that's really very wonderful. And then Known Origin has its own separate website where you can go and buy things and download them and use them as NFTs. So as we visit my collection, I have a couple of things from Known Origin. One, I bought on OpenSea. I didn't at the time, it was early in my NFT collecting career. I didn't know what Known Origin was and that they were a whole separate website. I just bought the art because I liked it and it was well priced and it was cool. And I'll show it to you. I don't know how this gets ordered by OpenSea. It seems to change every time I reload my page. So this was the original one that I picked, which is not square, it's more of a rectangle. And I liked it because it's just weird. It's a pyramid eye and it's looking at you and it's animated. I thought it was my first animated piece. Here is the other thing that I have. This is from Known Origin, and this is from Life magazine, and I've shown this to you before. I was the first one to buy this on the Known Origin website, and it's this cable thing, I think from the 1930s. And it's untitled, doesn't have anything in it on it yet. It's from Life magazine. Image properties, life, image, photography, historical, all these properties are important. And the price, who owns it, more from this collection. Now, if you click on Known Origin right here, you see, boom, okay, blue check mark, Known Origin, they have 64,000 items on OpenSea. And the floor is very affordable. So Known Origin has stuff you don't see all the time. This is their store on OpenSea. And you can see they have some very interesting stuff. And on their website, as far as I know, they don't have this wide, deep variety. I believe their website is a little bit more exclusive, like one-ofs. But if you're looking for something different and new and very affordable, you can go to Known Origin on OpenSea, and the purchase will be verified because it's a verified collection created by Known Origin. All right, love all that. So I had a little bit of experience with Known Origin when I went to the Known Origin website to purchase this Life magazine image, and it was very affordable. So I liked it so much, as you can tell, this is my Twitter page, and I'm not signed in. And you can see it's my background banner are the cables, right? Love it. I just think it's delicious. That's what it looks like. And this is my Wes Henry avatar. Zen. Beautiful. And I recently followed Life magazine. Now they're very funky here because they have the right name. They have LIFE magazine.eth. That's the new thing, especially on Twitter, is to use your eth name, which is a thing that you register and you pay for to use the .eth name. It's linked to your Ethereum wallet. And I followed them, and they followed me right back. And they didn't know who I was or that I had purchased anything. They just followed me back. And it's a brand new account. I love it. I'm very happy that they were kind enough to follow me back. So we have this little relationship going. So here we go. This is Known Origin. And I did not know I even had this on Known Origin until I bought my first pyramid piece. But when you buy something on Known Origin, it appears in OpenSea, and it also appears on your Known Origin page. Even if you're buying on OpenSea, it shows up on Known Origin. And that's all. It's not your entire wallet. It's your Known Origin NFT wallet. Now, so I set up my page. My banner here, you can see, this is a Sabet workbook painting. This is also a Sabet screaming thing, that one of the first NFTs I purchased. This is, I'm verified, I believe, because I have a verified Twitter account. So this is who I am, host, what I spent, who I am, Boles.eth, add David Boles, blah, blah, all these verifications, which I love, important. It's all public knowledge, nothing to hide. This is not doxing myself. And here's my collection, which is all of two things. The cable thing we saw, Untitled from Life magazine, love it, thank you. And this is my pyramid thing. It's a 1 of 1, which I really love. My cable thing is 1 of 100. But so far, there are only 3 purchasers, so it's really 1 of 3. Okay, now, so then you click through on that image to get deeper detail. Known Origin, Life magazine, okay, see, blue check, verified. This is my piece of art. Okay, yes. You can make it bigger. Untitled. Now here you go. This is my insider page, and I am logged in here. Sold to Boles TV 6 days ago. Okay, Known Origin. Edition, token, issue 1 of 100. I have the first 1 of 100 because I was so excited when I saw this. I said, I've got to have it. It's Life magazine. It's a cable thing. It's angles and shadows and light and people in 1930s. So they had a countdown clock. So I think it was last Friday, 3 p.m. my time, perfect. Hit 3 o'clock, buy, boom, mine. I think it was around $300. 150 people looked at this, and 3 favorited it. So, the interesting thing about this piece of art is that it came with unlockable content, which some NFTs do. You can buy them, and then they give you a little extra. Sometimes it's a song, sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's a file, sometimes it's an extra piece of information. And usually the unlockable content does not transfer on the secondary market. If I resell this, the unlockable content does not transfer over. At least that's been my experience. But I'm never going to sell this, so it's not an issue for me. I just want my unlockable content. So I can sell this, right, because it's mine. I can start a reserve auction where I set the price, and if it doesn't hit that price, it doesn't get sold. I can download the artwork, and when you click on this, you get a super, super duper huge high-resolution version of this image. So I did that. I have it. It's beautiful. I love it. The issue is this. View unlockable. Now, for a week, on many computers and many different browsers, I have clicked on this. View unlockable content. Untitled by Life. Never mind. Two choices. Never mind. Claim unlockable content. So, I click Claim unlockable content. You have to confirm it on your phone. I go to my phone, which I'm going to right now. I click the Sign button. And, as you can see, nothing happened. Nothing downloads. Nothing clicks through. It's dead. So, I'm feeling a little bit ripped off and a little bit upset. Because I have this beautiful piece of art and I'm completely super satisfied with it, but I really would like my unlockable content. Now, some unlockable content, like Sabet, I bought an NFT from him and he had music on it. It was animated and it was a co-thing that he did with Emily Lazar, and Emily Lazar included music on it that I didn't know had music on it. We watched it, the video, on my live stream. The music played and I got hit with a DMCA takedown notice from YouTube that the music was copyrighted. And I went to Sabet and I said, what is this? I thought Sabet's stuff you could use. And he said, well, normally you can, but I didn't know anything about this. So Emily Lazar is including copyrighted music with her NFTs as unlockable content. Actually, it's part of it. It's not unlockable. So you feel very ripped off and she doesn't respond. And it's all a big S show, as they say. I could say the word and type it in chat, but I'm not going to. So I go to the Known Origin website. They are a UK company, I discovered, and click on their Discord server, because that's where everybody provides service now, is on Discord. And I click it and I get an error message saying, sorry, this link is out of date. And that happens. Discord invites, unless you set them up to be infinite, are usually limited, either in time or how many times they can be accepted and approved. So I think I found them on Twitter and went to the Discord from there, and then I got in, opened a ticket. It's not really an official site that's run by moderators, unpaid people, but they were very kind, said, well, they know there's a problem, they're trying to figure it out. Then it was, well, did they fix it for you? I said, no. And I'm thinking in my mind, there's no way they can fix this, because they can fix the original on the website and add the missing content there. And then when somebody buys it, they can unlock it. But for someone like me, who has purchased it, downloaded it, my capsule of what I own is mine on the blockchain. It can't be taken back or edited or added to. So in my mind, I'm thinking there's nothing they can do to fix this with what I already have, because the unlockable content is always going to be an empty screen. So I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll airdrop me a little something or something. So the nice people in the Known Origin Discord server said, well, did they get back to you? Because there's an email going around that they know there's a problem, they're fixing it. And I said, no, I didn't get an email. Wow, now what? And so yesterday they said, hey, email this guy at Known Origin and he'll take care of it for you. So I said, okay. So I emailed him. Heard back this morning, very nice guy, who basically said, look, we are a point of sale. We don't know what unlockable content is, because that's not what we do. That's what Life magazine does. So we forwarded your inquiry to Life magazine, but as far as Known Origin goes, we really can't help you, which is true. So I thought, oh no. It's going to be days, more days. I'm going to have to rip them apart on my live stream. And then about 10 minutes after that, I get an email from the Life magazine guy saying, look, yes, there is a problem with the unlockable content. We are working on a fix. But until then, please have this as your unlockable content. And they sent me a PDF file that I could download, and it was Life magazine in PDF format. I believe this is the first issue. I don't know if my image is of this issue, but I don't care. This is the perfect, brilliant, beautiful way to solve a problem like that. Because this is maybe exactly what might have been in the unlockable content. You download this and you get the PDF. It's fabulous. It's added value. So instead, they knew there was a problem. I couldn't get it out because I was worried because Known Origin said, look, they're tracking what you download and what gets clicked on. So they're going to know if you already have it. I'm thinking, well, I'm clicking every day on this thing and there's nothing that's downloading. But if they can't see that and they just see me clicking, they're going to think I still have it. But thank goodness it didn't come down to that. So I have this wonderful issue of Life magazine in my hands. Life begins in Life magazine. This photograph would probably be censored today because it's a picture of a baby without any clothes on. But in 1936, it was fine for public consumption. My, sometimes the world changes for the worst. So in the end, this morning, it all worked out. And I thanked the UK guy who said, very happy to help. If you need me, he said, if you need anything else, let me know. And I said, well, if you need anything from me, let me know. And he said, okay. And I said, okay. And I talked to the Life magazine rep. And I said, hey, this is the perfect solution. Thank you so much. I love the PDF. I'll value it forever. He said, great. He said, hey, Life magazine, they're getting into this NFT space. Are you interested? If they want to do a Twitter Spaces with you or have you appear on their podcast to talk about this, are you interested? I said, heck yeah. I said, I'm 57 years old. I know what Life magazine is. I grew up with Life magazine. And now that they've transformed themselves from old to new again, I think it's just delightful. There's a whole new realm of discovery out there. And he said, okay. And I said, okay. So now we're going to see. So that's my big story. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're buying NFTs. And don't be too suckered in by this extra unlockable content. You see it a lot on OpenSea from various points of view from creators. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. And they tend not to tell you what the unlockable content is. They want you to be surprised. They want you to buy first and find out later. I think it would be much better if they said, look, the unlockable content for this image is the full issue of Life magazine. Now that's big. People would like that. It's different. It's usable. It's rare. So be careful what you buy. Be persistent. Don't be afraid to ask what belongs to you and ask that it be delivered to you. And if you are polite and you don't yell at people and don't curse them out, they will help you fix the problem. And on that uplifting and wonderful note, it's now time for our second blood pressure break. I will return momentarily. And we are back live on Boles.tv. I'm David Boles, and we are here with you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Ooh, what a show so far today. Lookalikes, naked babies, Life magazine. It's too much fun. And we're not done. We have so much. I have so many things to talk about. And I'm probably not going to get to it all. But that's okay, because tomorrow is another day in need of filling and fulfilling. And we are going to do our very best to get us there. So now we have to move things back from what we had before. So I go into our browser mode, and I have to replace this with this. Aha. Okay, we are back with that now. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we talked about all that. There we go. Now, as we talk about live streaming, and it looks like I'm tired and going to sleep, and I am. This is exhausting, this that I'm showing you. Not the live stream itself. That's very exciting. I'll never sleep again. But dealing with Twitch and YouTube age restricting my live stream about the Brooklyn subway shooting was ridiculous. And on, this is April, March 8, January, February, March, 3/8/22, Twitch muted 3 parts of that live stream. Now, when Twitch mutes you because of music violations, they mute you for 6 minutes. No matter how long the song is, and my songs that I was playing that day were a minute. So they mute 6 minutes of your video. So 6 times 3 is 18 minutes of missing video. Just a little more than Richard Nixon had removed. 17 minutes. And the problem is, when you then download your unfortunately muted video from Twitch to then upload it later to your YouTube channel for video on demand, the audio is muted. Now, if they would ever unmute the audio, then you could re-download it again and re-upload it to YouTube. Now, YouTube, for some reason I do not understand, does not allow you to replace a video. If you want to replace a video, you have to delete the original video and then upload the new video that becomes the replacement for the video you had to delete. That I don't understand. Most video places, if you go there and you want to replace a video, you can. Says, quick interesting bit. Jimmy Fallon, another match that I got for you from that same site based on a screen cap. I took from the stream. Now that one insults me because I'm not a Jimmy Fallon fan. And I'm not a Conan O'Brien fan. And I know you are, and you may be a Jimmy Fallon fan as well. Which is fine. Tweeted a couple of NFTs that he had and was saying was cool. We talked about him and Paris Hilton before, and they're sharing their weirdo $300,000 NFTs with each other. Very strange. Someone in the comments tracked down those 2 particular NFTs and discovered that he had been gifted them from the minter and had not disclosed that. Wow. They said he was willing to shield those NFTs and questioned if he had been paid. Well, there you go. Now, we talked about that previously on another stream. This stream, but maybe a month ago, about how there is this underworld of the NFT and NFT payments. And the thinking at the time, which I shared, not me making the accusation or the determination, but other people who had investigated Justin Bieber's $1.3 million Bored Ape NFT. And the sleuths who did the researching said Justin did not pay for it. It was gifted to him. And the question was why, when at that time that particular Bored Ape was selling for about $500,000. Who would pay almost 3 times the requested price? Well, it turns out there's this guy who knows Justin, and it was his wallet that they tracked down to other things that he had purchased with that wallet, who bought that Bored Ape for that inflated price and then gifted it to Justin Bieber for what purpose? For what reason? Is this a payment for something? Is it money under the table? Is this being recorded as income and profit by Justin Bieber? We don't know, but very strange things are going on. And of course, then Justin Bieber tweeted, hey, here's my new Bored Ape, which increased the floor price immediately of the Bored Ape. So was this a paid sponsorship deal? Nobody's talking about it, but you can certainly make connections based on the excellent research that people did trying to figure out what's really going on here. And if they had somehow gifted Justin Bieber a Bored Ape worth $500,000 and gifted him 3 of them, nobody would have said a word because the value of the ape on the open market was $500,000. But you start raising flags of suspicion when you send Justin Bieber an ape worth $500,000 and you pay $1.3 million for it. That raises people's eyebrows to say, there's something going on here and it doesn't smell right. So I am of the opinion that all of these celebrities who get these apes are probably highline A-list celebrities, are not paying for them. They're airdropped to them, that is the term, and they receive them, and what's going on? What's the value? It was sent to you. It has some inherent value. And then they just promote the heck out of it and raise the floor price, and everybody's happy and nobody says a word. And I'm so glad that Gordon said people are looking into this. They're suspicious. They want to know more. And when I think of The Tonight Show, I think of Jack Parr, who nobody knows. I think of Steve Allen, which some people know. I think of Johnny Carson, which most people know. And I think of Jay Leno. That's The Tonight Show. Funny, stand-up, comedian, interesting, one-liners, talking to people. Not what Jimmy Fallon's doing. I don't find it very revolutionary or interesting at all. But I accept the times and things change, and so that has changed as well. So, when Twitch or YouTube hits you with a violation, you can go and appeal it. And on YouTube, it's pretty standard. You appeal, you say, I have a commercial license to use this, and then the other party is supposed to respond to you within 30 days explaining why you don't have a license, and either they win or you win. And what usually happens, at least it's always happened with me, is it either immediately gets released, or the party who filed the complaint against you just never responds, and 30 days later, YouTube says they didn't respond, so we are unmuting your channel. Video. And it works. They unmute it and it's there. It's great. That means they have to have 2 copies of your video, one that's muted and one that's not muted. Twitch, on the other hand, tends to not really reply very quickly about these mutes that they put on your videos. And the Twitch people, we talk about it amongst ourselves. Some people have been waiting 2 or 3 years to get a response to a Twitch takedown notice, a mute notice. And now I think in the last couple of weeks, they've announced a new process, a new procedure where you can get reviewed faster. Okay, we'll see. So from over a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I finally get this reply from Twitch. Here, the tracks, 3 of the tracks that are in question, one of them Slipstream, the other 2 Neo Nylon, which is part of Slipstream, I have permission. This is what I wrote back. I have permission from all applicable right holders to use the audio and distribute it on Twitch as part of my video. That is my argument for their muting. And then they say, we'll get back to you. And they never get back to you. Well, yesterday they sent me this email saying, hey, we unmuted you. Okay? And you think, oh, isn't that great? However, because the Twitch streamers, the affiliates, the partners talk to each other. And you know from last week that several creators got this exact same sort of email saying we unmuted your video. And then you go to the video and it's still muted. They don't unmute anything. They say they do, but they don't. And to me, that means they don't have the technical capacity to unmute. That means once they mute you, that is the copy that exists, is the muted copy. They don't have two copies, like obviously YouTube does, that's one that's censored, muted, and the other one that is unmuted. And they just swap it out internally, removing the muted content and replacing it with the unmuted content. At least that's what those of us who talk about this think. So I was cautiously interested to check out the video yesterday to see if it was unmuted, and it was not unmuted. Because I was planning, if it was unmuted, to download it, go to YouTube, delete the original, upload it as new, and everything would be right with the world. And this is a problem when Twitch mutes you, you can't get out of it. Whereas when YouTube mutes you, there is a chance that you'll get out of it because you're going to win the appeal because you have the rights to use it and they unmute you. Twitch, they mute you, you stay muted. It's outrageous. It's wrong and it's depressing. And it really, really makes you want to be very careful any kind of music that you play on your stream. Twitch is not as twitchy as YouTube. YouTube will strike you on any little similarity. Twitch is a little bit more lenient. But it really makes you not want to use any kind of new music that you haven't vetted tirelessly to make sure they're not going to mute you, because the mute is now impermeable. Which tends to sort of ruin your day. Now you may know, sometimes I play chess on this live stream, and we're not playing chess now. But I really love this, that if you're part of the FIDE Arena, which is the official playground of the FIDE chess folks who give you ratings, they now offer you a big discount, if you're a member, on these world-class chess sets. And they're just beautiful. This one is selling for $694. A lot of money. But this one, World Chess Champion set, these are ones they use in FIDE competitions, $50. So if you're looking for a nice, reliable chess set, you can't go wrong buying from FIDE. They are the chess folk, as they say, and you can get good deals. They have discounts, depending what you're looking for. A gray walnut board, a rosewood edition. I think it's just delightful. It makes me a little bit happy. Now, James Carville is a very interesting Democrat strategist. And he's come out lately saying, look, Democrats, get on board. Stop bad-mouthing Joe Biden and go bad-mouth the GOP. Call them out, which I like, for the nuts that they are. That they're QAnon. That they support pedophilia in their own elected officials and defend it. Fight back, not by beating up Joe Biden. Fight back by beating up on these crazy people. And make the case, why would you want these crazy people running the country? So I'll show you what some of these things that he's been saying are. I'm with James Carville. Quit talking about what Biden hasn't done. Start branding these people. It's very smart. And Democrats tend not to want to go negative. They want to stay above it. Oh, we don't go to that level. Like Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. I said, Michelle, that's the problem with you and Obama. You guys don't know how to play rough. You're very smart, wonderful people, but you don't understand politics very well. You're great at getting yourself elected, but you're not great, as history proved, on getting other Democrats elected. And that's why I wrote an article in bolesblog.com. When they go low, we go lower. That's how you deal with a bully. When a bully punches you in the nose, you don't turn the other cheek and walk away and say, thank you very much. May I have another? No. You punch them in the nose, and you punch them in both eyes, and you punch them in the chin, and you kick them in the nuts. So they don't leave, so they don't pick on you again. So they will leave you alone. Start looking at what they're going to do to us in the Supreme Court. Absolutely right. If how they treated Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't motivate you to vote, I don't know what will. Now that is absolutely the right tone, and it appeals to a lot of people. James Carville has a formula for winning the midterms. QAnon members and testicle tanners. They are a weird political party. They need to be branded as such. Absolutely right. And can you imagine if Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders were out there saying, hey, pull down your pants and put your testicles under a sun lamp? I mean, Fox News would have a riotous heyday with it. And Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham are saying, yes, put the sun on your balls. And we just let it go. Oh, they're crazy people. Well, that's how they want to define themselves. That's what they want to support. So why not make them support it? James Carville said Republicans are a weird political party made up of QAnon members and testicle tanners. I couldn't agree more. Fantastic messaging, Mr. Carville. Spot on. James Carville on Ari, actually making sense. He said no one fears the Democrats. Republicans do whatever they want. We scream and then do nothing. He said attack with their Putin support. Yes. On July 4th, a few years ago, a whole group of them went over to Putin. Why? What was going on? Ask them. Make them defend it. Attack them with their Putin support, their criminality, sexual indiscretions. Eat them alive. Take no prisoners. 100%. And I think I can play some of this. This is the one. This is the Ari Melber show. And I'll put this here. I'll put the sound up. This should play. I will pause the music so I can do a Shazam on the sound. Make it louder. And then I click this and we'll see what happens.
Problem is they are a weird political party. They need to be branded as such. These 26 QAnon people, all right, that's not necessarily the extreme. I mean, these are people that talk about testicle tanning. These are people that like go to Hungary for conferences. These are not normal. By and large, a large part of the Republican Party is just out and out weird. And when you have Moscow Mitch saying we need more sane people, that means you got a lot of really crazy people. Look at the clip when you and I and Bill were looking at Peter Navarro. That guy was a serious person in the White House. You telling me that he's a normal human being? No. And he's not even among the worst. And the problem is...
So there you go. Right on target. James Carville's always been right about these things. Now, are the Democrats going to be smart enough to follow up? Because now that the Republicans are saying that the whole problem in Ukraine is Joe Biden's fault because he wasn't tough on Russia. And there are people calling him out on Twitter, not on television though, not on the mainstream news, saying, hey, wait a minute. Who's the one who called Zelensky and said, we're not giving you any money until you find out dirt on Joe Biden? Well, it happened to be Donald Trump. Cutting off money, threatening Ukraine, on Putin's side. How conveniently they forget that. And we cannot let the American people forget that. Oh, Mr. Gordon says, are you familiar with the tweeter Jeff Tiedrick? White savage against GOP lunacy. Yes, I do love Jeff. And there's also another one, Brooklyn Dad, who is really terrific. But Brooklyn Dad admitted like a year ago he's now on the paid rolls of the Democrat Party, something. So that kind of took the bite off of what he says because he's getting paid to say it. Jeff, I don't know if he's being paid or not. The Brooklyn Dad says, look, it's in my bio that I'm on this team and I'm getting paid now. He was more effective when he wasn't getting paid, I thought. But Tiedrick is great, and we'll look him up in a minute. Now, have you heard about CNN Plus? Nobody has. I watch CNN every once in a while because I change around the news channels, and I can't stand it because they all are just drooling for a Trump run in 2024. They're going to promote him as hard as they can and try to stay above it, and, oh, we don't like him. He's a terrible person, but we're going to cover him 24 hours a day. And CNN Plus is, I guess, the softer side of the CNN anchors. Their whole campaign was weird where I'm a straight news person, but on CNN Plus, I put on comfortable clothes and I talk about dogs and kittens. And I'm thinking, why would you want to pay for that? $10 a month to pay for CNN Plus? Well, it turned out that it was all a big bamboozle. Nobody paid for it. My music has stopped. I don't know what's going on. Okay. And no one's watching. Now this I didn't mean to click on because that's the important part is where they say that they have like 10,000 viewers. They were supposed to have 2 million by this time. They have 10,000. And that's about 200 per state, somebody said. Very sad. So a lot of people were being fired, losing their jobs over CNN Plus. It should have it wasn't even a part of the CNN app. It was a whole separate app. It's like, who's asking for this? The people who watch CNN are old and crotchety. They are not online. They don't know how to download 2 apps instead of 1. This is Jeff. Don't blame me. I voted for the email lady. Oh, that's Hillary. Okay. Funny. And he's very funny and absolutely on target. So we'll listen. I'm so old, I remember when mainstream Republicans were basically reasonable people with differing views on economics and not a festering F-tangle of democracy-hating, book-banning, ball-frying fascist S-weasels. I'm going to like that because I'm the same way. I'm old as well. I remember when the Republican Party were. We're about money. We're about commerce. Democrats are about giving things away. It was very effective. Who would think that I would long for the days of Mitt Romney and Chris Christie? In their time, they were loathed. And now, please, come back. We need you to come back. Well, some in the far right of the GOP have branded Mitt Romney as a pedophile supporter because he voted for Ketanji Brown Jackson. I mean, it's just insane. And nobody punishes them. Nobody says anything. They just let them get away with it. Jeff also says, I've done a lot of stupid S in my life. Oh, Jeff has such a filthy mouth. But I never irradiated my balls because some soft, pampered fish stick air. Fish stick, Kanye, yeah, South Park, funny. Said it would make me a real man. Maybe I was out sick the day we learned about critical race theory in math class. Or maybe Republicans are just effing nuts. He's very funny. I don't think I'm following him. I better follow. Follow. And then we do this. This is the secret, by the way, to Twitter. Click on notify. Now, every time he posts something, it will be up here in my little ding-dong. Just like they are. And this is what it looks like. Ding dong. Oh, that's close. Ah, ha, ha. Talking about Mike. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I love it. So this is what happens. So you get up here and you get this blue bell and you click on it. And then these are people who you want to be notified when they post something. And I do follow the governor of New York because I think she's wonderful. In baseball, a .310 batting average is pretty good, right? Yes, I accept it. I think it's fine. And I follow the account that follows the Russian oligarchs where they travel and how much they're traveling. I also follow the New York filming account, which is really, really fun because it shows you where everything is being filmed. I follow Xcopy because it's a nutty thing and people pay $3,000 for one of his pieces of artwork and he makes $45 million in 45 minutes. I follow Sabet. Now every time I post something, isn't this wonderful? This is a take on the Sabet Tokyo Punks. And the Sabet name is drawn in there somewhere in this maze. I think it's just lovely. Ian Jones is another favorite of mine. I'm trying to show you the, usually it's all over the place. Now that's artwork I love too. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Where is it? And you can get spaces, Tokyo Punks, Sabet. What's this? Oh. Gabe Wise complaining about people who don't follow. Or from the governor. Oi, oi, oi. There we go. Usually you get 1,000 of these. And this is all this account does. They go to various places in New York, they take pictures of these film shooting permits, and then post them. A lot of Law and Order. And they post like 10 or 15 of these a day. It's amazing how many movies are being filmed in New York City. And it's usually always Manhattan. And they tell you the location, so you can go there and you can watch and take pictures of people. It's really quite enjoyable. Now, our big friend Gordon, late last night, sent me an interesting email from Forager. I do a lot of vegan research because I'm very interested in anything that's new and delicious. And I had never heard of Forager. And they have a long, big line of yogurts and smoothies and drinks that sound really, 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 really delicious. So I'm very grateful that Gordon sent this to me. He is testifying that it is delicious. And when Gordon talks, you listen. When Gordon emails, you act. So I signed up for their mailing list, and it looks like you can buy this at Whole Foods. So that's good, because Whole Foods is everywhere nearby, and they deliver. And they have all kinds of foods: cashew yogurt, yogurt drinks, staples, cheese, smoothies, frozen desserts, cereal. Cheese is always very, very, very hard to do. People who love milk cheese. Oh, Gordon says, I bought their stuff at Whole Foods. Excellent. I can't wait to try it. Their vegan cheeses are dairy-free, vegan, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free. Fabulous. Can't beat that. Vegan mozzarella. And the vegan cheeses are very hard to make work. Because people have they want like stringy cheese and they want it to be chewable. And a lot of the early vegan cheese people just didn't do it, they gave up. And you would use nutritional yeast instead, which is very delicious on its own. But it's not really cheese. It has a cheesy flavor, but it's not traditional cheese. The key photo from the slideshow is the pizza being pulled off the plate to show that what people really want, that gooey milk. That's exactly right. Oh, and there it is in the lasagna too. Yeah, that's what people want, that in there. Cheese. Especially in pizza. And pizza is my very favorite food because you can add all kinds of interesting things. It's just delicious. With a little bit of Beyond Meat or Beyond Sausage, it's just beyond incredible. A little bit of raw onion cooked in there. Oh, can't beat it. And look at all these. Queso Fresco, Monterey Jack, Parmesan. What should I have? And it's all vegan. And they are a California company. Can't wait to try it. Can't wait. And you can type in your zip code and I'll show you all the places nearby. And I typed this in earlier and I didn't get a lot of places that I recognized. Acme Market, I don't even know where that is. But it must be close by. 1.2 miles. Walkable. I just wish I knew where it's going. Morton Williams Supermarket, never heard of it. Another big win. If you want no sugar yogurt, they have you covered. That is good too. I don't want any sugar. Because sugar's in everything. You got a whole bunch of sugar. Organic Foods in Hoboken. Acme Market again. I got to figure out this Acme Market. Maybe it is up the street. I'll have to look for it. ShopRite in Hoboken. Okay, I'm just going to click on this one because I want to see if they have a picture of Acme Market. Maybe I somehow recognize it. Click and see. Why are you not coming to me? There we go. Okay, it's not giving me a map. 3 products found. Okay, good enough. Car. That's a map. Huh. So it is right there. Here I am. There they are. Walking. Ooh, it's 32 minutes, which is not bad. That's an average walk for me. But I'm trying to figure out where in the world it is. Oh, it's that way. It's downtown. I was going more in the Journal Square direction, but I am Journal Square. So it's down around. It's a little bit of a walk. Gordon says, when I was a kid and lived in Princeton Junction, New Jersey, there was an Acme Market that was walkable, and I would walk there, of course. It was the 80s, and kids could just walk to the supermarket unsupervised. Yeah, those were the days. Come home when the streetlights come on. Otherwise, I'll see you later. And you'd go out and play all day. It was fun. It was safe. Those days are probably not as realistic now as they were 30, 40 years ago. And that's a loss of something. A loss of some innocence. So it's sort of by Target, which is far away. This is not really walkable, honestly. Horrible. Bicycleable, but there's a lot of train traffic stuff, the bridges, sort of a bad area. Not really walkable. But that's okay because I have Whole Foods right here. It will take care of me. Well, that's interesting. And it's been a wonderful show. Gordon, if you have anything else you want to add or talk about, speak now or wait until tomorrow. Or moments after the show in an email, whatever. So beware of buying NFTs. It's wonderful to have unlocked content, but don't rely on it. If you're buying an NFT for the unlockable content that they don't describe, don't buy the NFT. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not there, maybe you'll be disappointed, maybe it won't be. Buy it because you like it and you're going to hold on to it. We talked about famous faces. Thank you. Of which I am now one. I'm going to have a lot of fun creating a highlight out of that, I guarantee you. I hope I can cut it down to the appropriate time. Gordon also shares, really quickly, apparently there's a Japanese show on Netflix about kids and how old they should be to do certain things like running errands. I may have heard something about that. And were people saying it was like child abuse or something? 1 of 5 ads. Oh my! Sorry, Gordon. I'm usually done by now, and I hit the button and you would never see this. Of any sort of missing content. Oh, and I see we're in ad 2 of 4 on my other account. Okay. So we'll wait for those ads to finish. And if you don't want ads, you can always subscribe. $5 a month. If you don't want to pay $5 a month and you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free each month for $5. You have to resubscribe each month, but it will be free. Or you can buy Twitch Turbo for $10 a month. That will give you free access for $10 a month to every single Twitch stream. No ads. Video on demand, anywhere, anytime. So if you're interested in more than one Twitch streamer, Turbo's the way to go. And Twitch tends to hide it. They don't want you to really kind of know about it. They don't promote it very much because it's really a very good deal. And we talked about NFTs. We talked about likenesses, name and likeness, superstar matches. Talked about James Carville saying, hey, stand up, do the right thing. Fight for the right of your party to party as a Democrat. And don't let the Republicans walk all over you. Because they're weird and they're strange, and the things that they want, they don't want for them. They want terrible things for you. Gordon is live streaming our ad stream. eBay Motors, apartments.com with the odd Jeff Goldblum character. I agree, it is very odd. You feel a little bit for Jeff that he has to do those ads because it's really out of his style. A video game and Toyota, hey, those are good ads. Big money. You can also get our, I don't know if it's ad-free or not, but you can get video on demand for free via our YouTube channel. It's Boles Blues, but you can also get there by just typing in boles.live. Boles.live, and you will go right to our YouTube channel. If you want Boles.tv and getting our wonderful chat conversation, you can get that as well. Our video on demand is for subscribers. Advertising free, as always. You can send me an email if you have something interesting to say, david@boles.tv. You can follow me, super follow me on Twitter @DavidBoles. You can find me on Facebook. BOLES is our business page. On Instagram, we are Boles Books. On TikTok, Boles TV. And here's our Discord server. If you're interested in sharing your NFT artwork, having a conversation about it, we're not there to sell. People want to say, can I post a link in your NFT section? No. Where you can post your artwork and we'll have a conversation about it. I love that. But we're not here to sell your stuff. You can do that on your own. And you can also join our live stream if you want to voice chat or if you want to read the scriptly text translation of what I'm saying here. It's all there, preserved after the fact. Here is our Discord channel. Boom. So you can click right on there, discord.gg/BOLES, and you can join and participate. Now, I'll need to give you access to our text channel and our live stream chat channel because I've been very warned by other Twitch streamers just to not open it. It has to be by invitation or you're going to get a lot of nasty people in there saying horrible things. And we don't want that. We want happy, positive things to be shared. So unless there's anything else, I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Any questions or comments, you know where to find me. And I'm here live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. So for now, I'm saying goodbye and see you tomorrow. And may you have a wonderful nap. May you sleep well. May you wake up happy, energized, and full of joy in your youthful always soul. See you tomorrow.